What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Season three's Battle Pass. You might be thinking, what the hell? We're on Season 4. Just for interest sake, I'm showing you guys what there was on Season 3. I finally actually got to level 85, but you can see the screenshots I took was when I was at level 81. For the last season. So just in case you're wondering what to expect in the upcoming weeks is season 4, I'm showing you all the screenshots that I've taken from season 3. You can do chase dodges, greatsword KOs, katars, heavy attack damage, spear light attack damage, win matches in different matchmaking queues. That basically means you can do free for all, you can do strikeout, you can do ranked, you can do experimental, you can do friendly twos, you can do ranked 2v2, you can do ranked pro ball. I think that's the current one for the season. So that's basically different matchmaking queues. It's not a custom game, it's not a couch party, it's not a anything that you've set up on your own. It's a matchmaking queue where you get matched up against random people. Double KOs, that's basically when you kill two people within a space of a few seconds or at the same time. Win matches without dying more than once, so basically you have 2 stocks or more. That was week 1. Chase dodges, in case you're wondering, it's basically you do a dodge and then you hold right kind of thing, and I don't know, I can't remember offhand. This video is basically trying to explain what the last battle pass was. I obviously did that when I needed to. When you mouse over on your different screenshots, or sorry, when you mouse over on your different missions as well, it tells you a bit more about what it was. Hit opponents that are above the top camera bounds. I finally did that one. That was crazy. That basically you hit somebody where you can't really see them. That's how high you were. Side KOs, you had to do like a certain number that was completed. I think it was like maybe 20 or 50 or something on week 2. Gauntlet's heavy attack, Blaster's light attack. You just use a legend, and with that weapon you do either the Gauntlet's heavy attack or Blaster's light attack, and you've got to do so much of damage, like I think maybe 300 points worth of damage or something. Win matches with current battle pass color scheme. So basically, as you unlocked it, you got Frozen Forest on the last battle pass. So you had to use a legend that you have unlocked Frozen Forest for, and I think I can't remember how many you had to win matches like that. Maybe it was about 20 or something. Ground pound KOs, I think that was 100. That was crazy. That took me quite a while. It was 12 emeralds that I got from that. You can see that I never did any gravity cancel unarmed heavy attack KOs. Oh no, wait, actually I did do that later on towards week 12 when I was getting to level 85. So I definitely did do those 5 ones. Yeah, that was kind of weird. If you want to know more, you can drop me a line of comments. I can explain it to you. It's kind of tricky to explain. It's probably better if I show it to you. Week 3 slide charge emotes. Basically, you're running off the stage. Just as you start, just before you can reach the end of the stage, you emote, and then you basically follow the stage while you're still doing the emote. You have to do a couple of those. Spear KOs, simply enough, you KO somebody with a spear, whether it's light or heavy attack, it doesn't matter. Hammer heavy attack damage, so it's with the hammer weapon. Sometimes like it's a bit confusing because it's a hammer heavy attack damage, not a hammer legend KO. It's basically the heavy attack that accumulates when you hit somebody with a hammer. Orb light attack damage, similar concept. You use an orb and you do light attacks. When you fill up the number of damage requirement points, then that's when you complete that mission. Hit multiple opponents with a single gadget. You've got 2 people that are standing in one spot. You throw a bomb at them that works. You could actually have it lying on the floor already, and yeah, that multiple people at the same time walk into it, not really likely. So it's easy to throw a bomb or a mine at somebody, at a couple people, um, and its opponents. It's not teammates, eh? It sucks when you hit teammates with any of the gadgets. Gain elo of any kind in ranked matches. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see I don't do ranked. I think I actually did achieve that one in the last season. Unfortunately, I didn't take a screenshot when I was at level 85. I think I was doing rank 2s with somebody that was sort of killing me. I admitted. I don't play ranked because I'm not that good. Although I did get a gold a few times. Yeah. For somebody that doesn't play ranked to get a gold, I'm not that bad. Exhausted recovery attack KOs. This was a bit tricky. I can't remember how many I had to get. But um, when you do a recovery attack KO, for example, you are Teros, you've got a um, an axe in your hand and you're doing a recovery attack. You're off the stage and you press Y or heavy attack. So you basically spin um, your axe in the air, kind of thing. That's a recovery. But exhausted recovery is basically when you have no jumps left. If you do like a dodge while you before you can do your recovery, um, that's what it means, that it's exhausted. That's in the new season you'll probably see sweat beads on yourself as well. um, Win matches with legends that were once members of the Order of the Exalted Lion. It's easy enough for these kind of things. You just Google it, and if you really want to do it the original way, you read through the lore and you find out who was part of the Order of the Exalted Lion. Um, I think it was Mordex in that one, or it might have been Sir Roland. I think he's got a lion on his chest as well. So, but it's easy enough to just Google that, and you often enough you'll find. Sorry about the yawn. Yeah, often enough you'll find the answers to that. If it's confusing, if it's law based, it's kind of interesting though. They're trying to get you to read law um, and get more into the Brawlhalla side of the law side of Brawlhalla, basically. Sorry. Cannon KOs simple enough. Blast is heavy attack damage simple enough. Katana's light attack damage simple enough. Oh, one more thing. Sometimes when you have multiple of these, you think, okay, who is blasters and katanas? Can't often think of anyone. Blasters and cannon, that's Isaiah. So if you want to try and do um, those together, you would use Isaiah. Try and do blasters heavy attack, but do a KO with his cannon. Simple enough. You want to combine as many of these things as you can to do it as efficiently as you can. Katana light attack damage and cannon KOs. Again, you could use Lenfei. You could do light attack with your katanas and do KOs with your cannon. Interrupt opponent recovery attacks. So basically, if somebody's doing a recovery attack and you hit them while they're doing a recovery attack, that's basically the interruption. Um, as I've said before, it's Teros coming back to stage, doing an axe recovery, and you hit them, kind of thing. Hit opponents into arm pressure mines, that's always fun. Yo, sorry about the yawns. I shouldn't have made this video at this time of the day. Hit opponents into arm pressure mines. That's basically you throw a mine, whether you or your teammate or even your opposition has thrown a mine onto the stage. The mine is active. If you hit an opponent onto that mine, that basically counts. If you whether you throw a weapon on them, whether you do a sig on them, whether you do a light attack on them, it doesn't really matter. As long as you just basically hit them into the arm pressure mine. It's always easier when they're standing just in front of it. If you throw it onto them, it doesn't count. It's basically got to be sitting there already. Get KOs with neutral air attacks. A neutral air attack is it's not a sig. It's a basically like if you think of Orion with or anybody with a spear, neutral air is basically when you you're in mid-air and you just press X once with the light attack, and that's neutral air. You spin your spear, and that's the type of attack it is. And to get KOs with that was really hard, I remember, because light attack, yeah, you don't really get much of much bang for your excuse me, much bang for your buck on that. Win matches as Legends of playing Brawlhalla's premier techno fantasy Europop band, another low thing that I had to Google. Actually, I didn't Google that one. I just guessed Ada as far as I remember, and I was right because Ada looks very techno fantasy in any case. Bow KO, simple enough. Rocket lance, heavy attack damage, simple enough. Just spam with Ryan. Axe light attack damage, simple enough. Win matches with each stance type. So when that says each stance type, that means you have an attack stance, you have a defense stance, you have a dexterity stance, and you have a speed stance. So you basically change your stances, and whenever you win a match with one of those stances, it counts towards the 4, and when you get a win with each one of those 4, that's when you complete that mission. Perform true combos. A true combo is basically multiple hits that have 0 dodge frames, that basically an undodgeable combo. That's what a true combo is. If you use, for example, sword, you can do downlight sidelight. If you use spear, you can use sidelight downlight, I think. And if you use orb, it's basically similar like that as well. I think it's orb is downlight sidelight or sidelight downlight. Most of these are usually one or the other kind of things. You can Google true combos as well. I know how to do them when I am playing the game, but to tell you this is sidelight, this is downlight, this is gravity cancel, jump, nair, into whatever. Yeah, I'm not really I don't speak that language. I come from a time where down from punch was what all you needed to know. If you understand Street Fighter, you get the reference. Hit opponents with fully charged signatures. So if you do a signature, it's basically your heavy attack. But then if you hold your heavy attack button down, that's basically charging it up. And if you hit somebody like that, first of all, you're very lucky. Second of all, they're very dumb. And I remember this was a very tricky one to do. Nobody's really that dumb to walk into a fully charged sig. But yeah, that's what you have to do. Win matches as members of the Brawlhalla Ladies Book Club, another one that I didn't have to Google because Fate looks like a librarian, so I just chose Fate, and yes, that actually managed to satisfy that mission. Sword KO, simple enough. Cannon heavy attack damage, simple enough. So you get legend KOs and you get weapon KOs. So it's a sword KO. So it doesn't really matter if you sword legend, for example, Jala, and she's got a sword, but then you do a KO with an axe, that doesn't count. If it said sword legend KOs, then you don't do an axe KO with Jala. She is a sword legend, then that counts. But sword KOs has to be with the sword weapon itself. Hopefully that makes sense. Cannon heavy attack damage, simple enough. Great sword light attack damage, simple enough. Random legend wins. So this basically means that you need to win the match, whether it's any one of these matchmaking games that I mentioned earlier, on random. You've got to choose random as your legend, and you've got to be able to win that. So yeah, it's not everybody's good with every legend. Some people are, but most people aren't. So good luck with that one. Win matches under 150 seconds, simple enough, straightforward enough. You basically win the match as fast as possible. I think it kind of helps if it's friendly twos, and you've got a sweaty tryhard friend that wants to help you with this. Get KO is the active input version of attacks. It's basically, as soon as you say active input, you know it's side, and then you get a KO doing an active input, which is basically like if you do downlight and you hold front, it basically pushes them to the front of you after you hit them. That's what active input means. Week 7 missions from the last battle pass in season 3. Be gravity cancelling an emote at the end of matches. So basically, gravity cancel is when you hold while you're mid-air, you hold dodge, so that's doing gravity cancel, and then you do an emote at the end of the match. So when it says like 3, 2, 1, I would jump like as high into the air as I could, or fall off the stage from a high stage as well, and I would hold trigger and then try and do right trigger or dodge to do a gravity cancel, and then do the emote. So basically doing a mid-air emote. That's what a gravity cancel is. Gravity cancel you can also do with gravity cancel 6. You can and gravity cancel just anything that you would normally do on the ground. You can do a gravity cancelled version of it. Uh, it is kind of fun though, doing those. Win matches with by the way as well, the emotes that you choose, some emotes have few frames and some emotes have multiple frames. That basically it takes longer. You want to find the longest emote that you can, like I used to use the table emote with Wu Shang or whoever banging on the table. um, that had many active frames, and that emote itself used to take long, so it was an easier way to manage to get this one. Win matches with legends from Thera. I had to Google this one. I can't remember offhand who that was. Or I think it might have been Core. Orb KOs. KOs with the Orb weapon. Side heavy attack damage. Doing heavy attack damage with the side. Rocket Lance light attack damage. That's unheard of. Gravity cancel light attack damage. Again, like I was saying, gravity cancels. You hold shift and you sorry, not shift, you hold your right trigger while you're in mid-air, and then if you have an Xbox controller like me, you hit X for light attack, and yeah, you just deal damage like that. Get a KO in a 1v1 match before taking 50 total damage. That's basically self-explanatory. You kill them before you get hurt too much. Gauntlet KOs, simple enough. Axe heavy attack, cannon light attack. Pick up gadgets. That is simple. Pick up a bomb, pick up a mine. Um, I don't. Yeah, that's basically what gadgets are. I don't know if a horn counts as a gadget. I can't remember offhand. I don't think it does, but yeah, you can Google that if you really want to know. Dominate. That's when you get like really. You get basically you go all out. You go crazy. Uh, and you dominate the match. You basically kill them like stupid. You don't give them a chance to land. You don't give them a chance to react to anything. That's what dominating the match is. If you haven't heard dominate or dominating before in Brawlhalla, you need to up your game. Be the first to say GG. That's encouraging some. That's at the end of the match. When the match is over, you've got your summary screen with your points in it. You press Y if you have an Xbox controller. That basically says GG, good game. And it's kind of like a nice way to encourage people to say, hey, let's make this community a nicer one in Brawlhalla. So I actually was a fan of seeing that. That was one of the first things I actually, for this week 8 challenges, one of the first things that I actually completed. Grab the other team's initial weapon spawn. Now, in case you're wondering what that means, weapons spawn all over the stage, but like if you're playing twos, for example, when it says other team, if it's free for all, there's no teams. If it's strikeout, there's no teams. Um, if it's experimental, there's no teams. It's only 2v2s or ranked 2s where you have teams in matchmaking. Um, and you get an initial weapon spawn. Just say for example you start on the left of the stage, you'll see your team will get something, a weapon spawning on the right of the stage. So basically you grab their weapon spawn. Simple as that. Win matches as pet owners. Again, Fate has a cat that's like literally in um, her whole character pack, so that was obvious. So win matches as pet as Fate, that was easy enough to do. I can't remember how many it was. Might have been 6 because there were 6 emeralds. Blaster KOs, easy enough to explain. Greatsword heavy attack damage, hammer light attack damage. Get KOs within 10 seconds of respawning. Um, it's not 10 seconds from starting the match, 10 seconds of respawning. Just say for example somebody, your opponent is like on red, you respawn, you do a sig on them, they die, that counts as a KO. Emote first. So basically as soon as the match starts, you do an emote like thumbs up or like yay or woohoo. Try not to do the salt one. Interrupt opponent signatures with signatures. Somebody's doing a signature on you, especially if that signature has a two-step part to it. Then you hit them with your sig. That counts. Win matches a legend that have been used to win a BCX 1v1 championship. When you hear BCX and you hear 1v1, you think Sandstorm. When you think Sandstorm, you think Modex, and I didn't have to Google that one either. Um, so basically, that one was I used Modex to win that or get that mission achieved. Kata KOs, simple enough. Sword heavy attack damage, bow light attack damage. Hit below stage opponents with light attacks. This was a bit tricky. Below stage, you have your lowest platform. You jump off the platform. You hit your opponent with a light attack. You can pogo them on the head. You can do a neutral light with your spear. You can, I don't know, there's a whole lot of different weapons and different things you can do. As long as you hit them with a light attack off stage, and if you're above stage, even though you might be to the left of your screen and you're literally above the platform, it doesn't count. You have to be below the actual linear point of the platform for that to count. Disarm opponents, basically when you hit somebody and they're sort of low, um, sometimes the weapons will disappear. That basically counts as disarming an opponent. You can check out one of my first montages. It's called Let Me Disarm You. That basically is a montage of people getting disarmed with Brawlhalla. First strikes, that's basically, I think, getting the first KO in the match. Play a custom match through the public room browser. Yeah, so if you go to custom game, if you go to browse rooms, then you can see what any of those were. That's how you just have to play the game. You don't have to actually win it. Axe KO is simple enough. Spear heavy attack, side lash attack, easy enough. Hit with 5 different signature attacks in a match. Okay, so this might require some explaining. You might say, okay, well, my Y button is signature. Well, you have your Y button as heavy attack or signature on your Xbox controller, but you have side sig, you have down sig, you have neutral sig, you have 2 different weapons, and so it basically gives you 6 different sigs: a neutral sig, side sig, down sig. So you've got basically 6 options. If you think of Orion, you do a side sig with your rocket lance, you do a down sig with your rocket lance, you do a neutral sig with your rocket lance, you do a down sig with your spear, you do a neutral sig with your spear, you do a side sig with your spear. That's, you basically want to hit with at least 5 of those 6 within a match. Hit opponents with slide charge heavy attacks. So once again, slide charging is basically where you're running off the stage and you are doing a slide, which is basically using your dash or your dodge button, which is right trigger on Xbox. you do a slide charge off the stage, and it's a heavy attack. So you're running off the stage, and then you do, just as you're about to like leave the stage, you start your sig. Like for example, with Wushan, one of my favorite ones to do is run on the stage and do a side sig with his gauntlets, and to basically hit an opponent with that, you gotta do it 30 times. Get kills with different types of attacks. That's basically similar to the 5 different signature attacks, but the different types of attacks is basically light, neutral, heavy, down, all of the different things with your 2 different weapons. Carry weapons as they're being carried by your sidekick. So your sidekick is like when you blow your horn, your sidekick comes and throws the weapon towards you. If you grab it just before they can actually drop it, then that counts towards it. It makes sense to do this on the stages where you have a high platform and be as high as possible when you blow the trumpet. Hammer KO, simple enough. Bow, heavy attack damage, simple enough. Gauntlet, light attack, simple enough. Neutral light, simple enough. Neutral light attack damage is basically pressing your X button. It's your light attack. Neutral light, it's not a down light, it's not a side light, it's neutral light. You're not pressing any direction buttons when you do the light attack damage. Conversely to that, side light attack damage and down light attack damage is the next one. You hold side and then you do a light attack, and you hold down and you do a light attack. Down light attack applies on the ground only. If you in mid-air and you do a down and a light attack damage, it's actually called a down air. So yeah, that's just to explain that. And that was week 12, and that is the end of this video, guys. Sure, almost half an hour. Yeah, so this was basically the season 3 battle pass. Now you know what to expect, or the kinds of missions you can expect in Brawlhalla Battle Pass Season 4. Thank you for watching Rojo Gaming, guys. Catch you in the next one. As Stanley would say, Excelsior.